Have you ever felt this way? You want to achieve something great. You dream of success. You imagine a better life. But when it's time to act, you wait. You tell yourself, tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. If you've ever been ambitious, but lazy, then this story, Rohan's story, is for you. It may just change the way you see your own life forever. In a quiet village surrounded by golden fields and tall green hills, there lived a young man named Rohan. Rohan was strong, healthy, and full of dreams. Every evening, he'd sit with his friends near the old banyan tree and say, "One day, I'll have the biggest, most beautiful farm in this whole valley. My crops will shine like gold under the sun. People will come from far away just to learn from me." The villagers admired his confidence, but deep inside, they all knew his biggest flaw. Rohan loved talking about success, but he rarely worked for it. When the first rays of the sun touched the land, other farmers were already plowing their fields. Rohan stayed in bed, yawning, saying, "I'll start early tomorrow." When the noon sun blazed and the farmers sowed seeds with sweat dripping down their backs, Rohan sat lazily under the neem tree, dreaming about success instead of working for it. He often said, "Hard work is not everything. I'll find an easier way someday." But that someday never came. One evening, as the sun set in orange and gold, Rohan's uncle came to visit. He was an old, wise farmer, his hands rough, his voice gentle but firm. He looked around Rohan's land. The soil was dry and cracked. No crops, no effort, just weeds and dust. The uncle sighed. "Rohan, my boy," he said softly, "you always talk about your dreams, but your field, it's sleeping just like you." Rohan smiled awkwardly. "Uncle, don't worry. I'll start tomorrow. Next season, this land will be full of crops. You'll see golden fields waving in the wind." The old man nodded slowly. He had heard that word, tomorrow, too many times before. He reached into his pocket and pulled out 2 tiny pouches. Inside them were seeds, one smooth and shiny, the other dull and rough. "These are not ordinary seeds," he said. "They hold a lesson." He raised the first pouch. "This one is the seed of ambition. If you plant it and care for it every day, it will grow into a tree that gives fruit, shade, and wealth." He raised the other. "This one is the seed of laziness. It grows quickly, very quickly, but it spreads weeds across your whole field. It destroys everything else." He placed both in Rohan's hand. "Your life, my boy, is like this field. Which seed grows depends on which one you water." That night, Rohan couldn't sleep. He turned the 2 seeds over in his palm again and again. One symbolized his dreams, the other his habits. He whispered to himself, "Of course, I'll plant the ambition seed. I want success." But when the morning came, the bed felt too soft, the air was cool, and working in the heat didn't sound very appealing. So as always, he said, "I'll start tomorrow." Days passed, weeks passed, and still nothing. Until one afternoon, out of boredom, he walked to the field, holding both seeds. He said to himself, "Let's just see what happens. I'll plant both, one on each side of the field. I can always take care of them later." He dropped them carelessly into the soil and walked back home, thinking he had done something important. But doing something later was still his biggest mistake. Days turned into weeks. Rain came and went. Rohan spent his days sleeping late, chatting at the tea shop, and boasting about the success he would one day have. One morning, his uncle returned. "Come, let's see how your field is doing," he said. Rohan followed casually until he saw it. His mouth fell open. The entire field was covered with thick weeds, tangled, wild, and unstoppable. They spread everywhere, choking the soil. And in one lonely corner, a small, weak plant tried to survive, the ambition seed, barely alive. The uncle looked at the land and spoke quietly. "Rohan, this is your life. Your ambition needs care, water, time, patience. But laziness, it grows on its own. It spreads quickly, destroying everything good." Rohan's eyes filled with tears. He touched the dying plant and whispered, "I wanted to succeed, but I did nothing." That night he couldn't sleep. He stared at the ceiling, haunted by the image of weeds. He realized that his biggest enemy was not the sun, not the soil, not bad luck. It was his own laziness. Before dawn, Rohan finally woke up early. For the first time in years, he didn't make excuses. He grabbed his spade and walked to the field. The morning air was cool and still. He knelt down and began pulling out the weeds, one by one. His hands ached. His back hurt. But he didn't stop. Every weed he removed felt like a part of his old self dying. He whispered, "I will not give up this time." He watered the little ambition plant, spoke to it softly, and returned the next day, and the next, and the next. Days became weeks. The weeds disappeared. Fresh green shoots began to rise. His friends teased him. "Ah, the lazy dreamer finally woke up." Rohan smiled and kept working. He had stopped talking about success. He was building it. Months later, Rohan's field glowed under the sunlight. Healthy crops swayed like waves in the wind. The tiny tree from the ambition seed stood tall and strong. The same villagers who once laughed at him now came to him for advice. When his uncle visited again, his eyes filled with pride. "You did it, my boy," he said softly. "You fought your laziness and won." Rohan smiled humbly. "Uncle, those seeds you gave me were magic." The old man chuckled. "No, Rohan. The seeds weren't magic. The magic was always inside you, waiting for the day you decided to work." Years passed. Rohan's name became known across villages. People called him the farmer who woke up his dreams. When someone asked for his secret, he would say, "Inside every one of us are two seeds, one of ambition, one of laziness. Ambition grows only when you feed it daily with effort and action. Laziness, it grows by itself, but it steals everything." Then he would smile and add, "Don't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, only today does." So, my friend, which seed are you watering today? The seed of ambition or the seed of laziness? Thank you for watching Wisdom Tales. If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe to enjoy more motivational tales that also help you learn English. Your support helps more stories reach those who need them. See you in the next story.